Hello everyone, welcome to StudyIQ English. Ladakh has been in the news for the last few days. On 24th September, a very gruesome accident happened where 4 civilians lost their life. More than 90 were injured as protests were raging over Ladakh. Why? Because bodies like the Leh Apex body, the LAB, at the same time, the KDA, these bodies have been asking for statehood for Ladakh as well as inclusion of Ladakh in the 6th schedule of the Indian Constitution. All this, the demand for the 6th schedule not being accepted by the government, resulted in a massive protest. We all know about how the climate activist Mr. Sonam Wangchuk also got arrested. The government resorted to utilizing the NSA, National Security Act. Now, in that backdrop today, once again, the issue was in the news. In the news because the government has decided to appoint a high-powered committee led by Justice B.S. Chauhan. Now, this committee will exclusively look into, identify and find out the causes, the circumstances that led to this huge tragedy on 24th September. As the committee is now going to begin work, there are 2 articles of the Indian Constitution that are also in the news right now. These are Article 371 and Article 370, of course. But one more. Now we are talking about the Schedule 6. It is in the news once again. Earlier also, we had made a video on how the 5th schedule is different from the 6th schedule. But today, let's see. Why has the government denied Schedule 6 inclusion for Ladakh, and why? Is the government offering to the people of Ladakh that let us extend the provisions of Article 371 of the Indian Constitution to you? What's the difference? And what is the new development? That's exactly what we are going to look at in this video. Now let's understand that the Ministry of Home Affairs has decided, it has now proposed to Ladakh an inclusion, an extension of Article 371 like provisions. Although the people are not happy, the people haven't accepted this yet, but that's the dialogue that the Home Ministry wants to have with the LAB, that's the apex body in Ladakh, as well as the KDA, the Kargil Democratic Alliance. The talks are happening exactly as 1 month is over from the protest period. The protest is ongoing. We saw the 24th September tragedy too. People dying, civilians losing their life, injuries. So now the government says, rather than fulfilling the demand for statehood, and rather than allowing Schedule 6 inclusion, that is right now exclusively given to states such as Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, Mizoram. States which now have an autonomous district council, which gives them much more independence and autonomy in taking various decisions regarding administration. But rather than giving 6th schedule, the government is extending provisions of Article 371. So what exactly is going on and what does the government seek to provide to the people here? So talking about Article 371 itself, it is an article which is specifically made for certain areas within some states. For example, states like Nagaland, Mizoram, Sikkim, Karnataka. Then there is Gujarat, Maharashtra as well. Today, if Ladakh also gets this benefit, for example, a new clause comes in under Article 371, it will mean that there will be many more safety and many more independent provisions that the people will get here. For example, no transfer of land to the non-residents to protect their pastures, their own lands, and many other laws. So it will be good for them because it will provide them safeguards, many more development benefits. It will also give them employment benefits, reservations. It will allow them many more recruitment offers in jobs. At the same time, it will also be a great way in which their cultural practices, their languages, dialects can be protected. Much stronger councils will be created. Many more areas of legislation will be provided. And Article 371, although will not give them statehood, but definitely it will create all these targeted protections for them by enabling them much more autonomy, by protecting their unique culture, language, and their developmental aspirations. That's Article 371. Now talking about the article itself, The purpose is to take care of special development needs and to protect the culture, language, ethnicity of people within a state, of specific populations, specific communities, including tribal communities, as we see in the Northeast right now. So it is a great preventive step to protect the cultural identity of various regions, to ensure balanced and inclusive development for all these specific communities. Their local customs, their local populations will be given not only autonomy in certain governance matters, but also their culture will be protected. Now, that's a very important and quite a remarkable provision under Article 371. So, for example, we have Article 371 A, B, C, D, right up till J. All of these are defining specific provisions with regard to some or the other state. For example, look at Article 371. It's for Maharashtra and Gujarat. And then you have all these. So you have about Article 371A that was introduced back in 1962, say for Nagaland. Then if you talk about Article 371H, introduced via the 55th Amendment in 1986, it comes for Arunachal Pradesh. Similarly, 2012 is for Karnataka. There are specific areas within states that have their unique development requirements. So providing them an extension of Article 371 will enable the government to protect their culture, their identity. It's not about giving them full statehood. Like in India, we have had creating linguistic states approach right from the 1960s. We all remember the States Reorganization Act. Up till 2014, when Telangana took birth from Andhra, it was quite common that if aspirations, the cultural requirements, linguistic needs of a specific community are not being fulfilled, then the government and the constitution do allow for creating a separate state. That's part 1 of the constitution itself. But right now, what the government is choosing to offer Ladakh is not a statehood, not Schedule 6, which gives much more autonomy in the form of a proper district council. But the government has chosen to provide an extension within 371 like for all these states that do exist here already. It is somewhere in between. Neither a complete autonomy, but at the same time also providing for some development initiative, some benefit. So how will Article 371 in principle differ from the Schedule 6? Why? Because Article 371 offers a possibility of giving special provisions to safeguard the local culture, language, and to give them some rights on administration. But it has already been applied in 12 Indian states, including Nagaland, Assam, Mizoram, and Sikkim. But then when you look at the 6th schedule of the Constitution, this is way more strong because it provides a much more robust self-governance permission to specific states. For example, Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, Mizoram. All these states presently covered under Schedule 6. It provides them much more autonomy by making for them autonomous district councils, by enabling them legislative power on various important subjects like land, forest, custom, community laws, much more participation in the form of local governance, especially for tribal people, because it is also believed that the tribes of these 4 states have way more unique customs and languages. It will also provide them a much more right on their own administration, and this is where the people of Ladakh are disappointed with the government's stand, because Ladakh still wants inclusion on the 6th schedule because it will give it a kind of autonomy in management. District council will come, and that's something which the government is not allowing. The people of the Ladakh feel we need specific protection like Schedule 6 or a separate statehood at least, so that we can protect our unique tribal, demographic, linguistic, cultural requirements. And inclusion under Article 371 may not provide that kind of fulfillment to us. So that's the controversy that's going on right now. And talking about government argument, the government says autonomous district council, today as it's used in the 4 states of Northeast, is not the viable option right now for Ladakh. And that's why the central government says Article 371 could be a more middle ground. It could be a more flexible solution to safeguard land, job, custom and institutions. And all that you can get without having been included in the 6th schedule. So as the controversy rages on, we are yet to see. Today, Justice B.S. Chauhan Commission is also there. So reports will come. A much better analysis of exactly why the violence erupted. A much more clarity on whether the government was ethically correct when it chose to implement NSA. So yes, it's a debate, it's a controversy that's going on, but quickly a practice question here. Now, with reference to the recent discussions on granting special constitutional provisions to Ladakh, look at the following statements here. Article 371 of the Indian Constitution provides special provisions for certain states to preserve their cultural identity and customs and laws. Second, the 6th schedule allows for creating a district autonomous council, the ADC, Autonomous District Council, with legislative powers such as land, forest and local custom. 3. Article 371 and 6th schedule are currently applicable to union territories. And last, Ladakh's demand for including itself in the 6th schedule is based on a significant tribal population and geographical isolation. So which of these statements do you think are correct? And if you have any other perspective about this controversy, then without really taking a hard line stand, on a very, very academic note, we can have a discussion about what you feel exactly is a valid thing to do. And now that we are coming to the end of the video, here's a quick reminder about the ongoing sale that we are having. And under the sale, you can, if you are appearing for UPSC 2027 exam, use the code SPLIVE for a sale that's beginning only at 21,999 across Hindi, English, bilingual medium for all the GS subjects. But then even if you are writing the exam next year, that is in 2028, there is an option, a price of only 36,999, and you get all GS subjects. Now GS is the backbone of UPSC, we know that. Plus you also get many discounts on optionals, CSAT, answer writing, all of that comes your way. So if you, any of your friend is interested, do let them know, do spread the word about. Let every aspirant take the benefit of this highly affordable sale program only on StudyIQ English. Thank you so much.